hey, welcome back to another week of Lone Star Hammered. We're going to be going through some lists that won events last week, and with me today I have Aaron Kelman, who actually won an event, which is surprising because he plays Imperial Knights. But yeah, so let's do some housekeeping stuff, man. How's it going?
Good.
Welcome back.
Good.
Honestly, we're not going to do like the normal intro. Aaron's been on here before. I think it was like episode like 2 or 3 or something. If you guys want to know everything about him, go check that out. He's been playing 40K for fucking ever, and he's probably one of the better painters in all of Texas. Matching up like right next to toe with what's his name?
Kevin Grubbs.
Kevin Grubbs.
No, he's a little better than I am.
I'm gonna plug that in better for you. Well,
Kevin's got me beat.
Yeah. So yeah. Kevin does pretty good though. Kevin's absolutely phenomenal at doing like freehand and everything, and every little detail of his shit looks awesome. But yeah, hey, so we are always drinking on Lone Star Hammer. Tonight I have a Jack Daniel's 10-year, which is pretty fucking good, I'm not going to lie. And we found out that it's like $300 a bottle or some shit like that.
And I concur.
$200 to $300,
it's pretty fucking
so
good.
it's not bad.
I guess I should drink some.
That's crazy. So cheers to everybody watching this. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, and it'll probably be in the next couple weekends here that we'll actually hit it. But I'm going to do my next giveaway, which is going to be one of the get started or start collecting boxes once I hit 150 subscribers. Until then, we're not doing any giveaways, but I am going to do some shout outs once again, trying to get people to get tickets over to War Dome Houston. We are both going to War Dome Houston. It's going to be a fantastic event. Found out for their golden ticket, they're doing a really cool thing where they're actually just going to give it to the best overall. So it'll be general, paint scores, sportsmanship, all that shit combined into one, which I think is phenomenal because this event is just geared towards making the community better. It's going to be a phenomenal event. The terrain's pretty fun to play on. It's GW, but they just made it look cooler and better. So if you haven't bought your ticket yet, please go buy your ticket. Use the promo code HAMMERED. So I get to choose whatever school that they're actually going to donate a whole bunch of shit to. And Colin McDade and David Villarreal also agreed to donate a bunch of stuff too. So that's pretty cool. But without further ado, let's get into the stuff for the week. So our first event this week is going to be the Game Vault in El Paso. This was a 2,000-point tournament. They had 10 players there, and it was ran by Brian White. Do you know Brian White?
I do not.
I don't know Brian White either.
Don't know Brian.
Yeah. All right, so our placings, we only have 4 events to go over, so we're actually going to go over all the motherfuckers that went undefeated. First one is going to be John Camacho. So Jonathan Camacho, he's actually going to be on me next week. Or on me. He's going to be
really hot.
He's going to be on me next week. No, he's going to be on our YouTube channel next week, going over 1,000 Suns. I also forgot to remind everybody that we are doing faction focuses as well, and this week is going to be Imperial Knights, since I have probably the best Imperial Knights player in Texas, and I think you continue to get like number 1 and number 2 for ITC
pretty close
every year. Yeah,
pretty
and you
close.
Just absolutely fucking crush it. So. But yeah, let's go back to John Camacho over winning Game Vault in El Paso. So he was playing 1,000 Suns, and let's take a look at this list. I love seeing 1,000 Suns. He called it Horde. Ooh, that's a fun name. So we have Aramon on a disc. We all know what Aramon does. He just spits out some mortals, does an extra Doom Bolt if he wants to. Magnus the Red, Absolute Gunboat. 1,000 Suns Demon Prince with Wings. That's a new one.
Different.
Yeah, with Arcane Vortex. So let's look up what Arcane Vortex does while we talk about everything else. We have a Zangor Shaman, also kind of different, with Lord of Forbidden Lore. Lord of Forbidden Lore. Yeah, it's a tongue twister since we've already been drinking today. And then another Zangor Shaman with Athenial Scrolls. I'm not actually going to spend a large amount of time talking about his list because he's going to be on next week talking and doing a real faction focus. I'm just going to talk a little bit, though, about some of these Arcane... What the fuck? Arcane Vortex. Add 1 to strength and damage of psychic weapons. Okay, cool. That could actually be really cool with the Demon Prince because I think that the Demon Prince has a bunch of psychic weapons, so that's awesome. After that, we've got 1 big-ass squad of Rubrics, followed by 2 large 10-man squad of Zangors. That's interesting to see. Normally you see the Rubrics kind of broken up just so they can actually get on objectives and score points a little bit better. And you really don't see 20 Zangors anywhere. I think that's why he called this list Hordes.
I mean, I don't know a ton about T-Suns, but the trend does seem to be Zangors are seeing the table a little bit more and more. So
Yep.
I'm curious what he's going to say about that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then 2 Vortex Beasts. I love the Vortex Beasts. I think they're decently tough to deal with on the table, and they can deal lots of damage when they kind of want to. 3 Things of Chaos spawn. Obviously to just run around and do whatever he needs them to do, whether it be take objectives or like just sometimes put out a bunch of like AP 2, I think 2 damage attacks. And then 2 Enlightened. It's a fucking crazy list. I love it. Things you don't see in here at all. You don't see, honestly, multiple squads of rubrics with either transports or something protecting them or anything like that. And you don't see the...
No Terminators.
Well, you don't see the relic. You don't see their fucking relic to do the uppy-downy thing. You don't see the crystal.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, there's no crystal. So I'm super excited. I'm not going to tear into his list too hard, just because this is an interesting list, and I really want him to explain that to everybody next week. His opponents, though, were going to be Louis Coca. I wonder if he is a founder of the coca plant. Running Tyranids, and it looks like Tyranids with a bunch of big guys. There's some Maliceptors and everything like that, and a couple infantry squads and some gargoyles. Those mortal wounds from that is obviously what dealt that in. He played Jack Kozadowski, playing T-Sun, so it's a mirror match.
Yeah,
There we
all
go.
right.
And this guy's he's running the crystal. He's running the normal things that we kind of see, which is Aramon, that crystal, another Exalted Sorcerer, the Infernal Master, Magnus, all those like mortal wound output that the other guy didn't have.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of looks
then,
pretty meta. Oh,
yep.
There's some Zangors.
Yeah, I have been seeing the Zangors a little bit more, but it's a 65-point 10-man blob that's sometimes hard for people to deal with. But yeah, this is definitely looking a lot more mainstream.
Triple spawn.
Yep. And some Enlightened as well. There you go. And then his last opponent was Ivan Kampa.
Oh, yeah, Grey Knights.
Playing Grey Knights, yeah. You play Grey Knights, don't you?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Once in a while.
Once in a while. Grey Knights have been getting a lot of love recently. And it's a Grey Knight one, not running a bunch of Dread Knights, it looks like.
No, they're there.
1, 2, 3. Yep, he's got the 4 Dread Knights. Never mind. And a big Paladin squad, which is kind of cool to see as well, because you don't see the Paladins all too much. Cool. I mean, those are some awesome wins. I'm really excited to talk to Jonathan about how he was able to navigate through those and how his T-Suns worked. After that, we have our second place winner who also went undefeated at the Game Vault El Paso, playing Adeptus Custodes. We're seeing these guys everywhere. And since they only have like fucking, I think, 10 data sheets when you include Forge World, a lot of the lists look the same because they have really good units. So let's see what he actually brought. He called this one Chonk with a weird O. And he was running a Blade Champion Trajan, 1-2 guard squads, maxed out. 1-2.
There's an Ares.
Custodes, Alaris Custodes. They are Custodes.
There's the big boy.
2 Alaris. So the Terminators, just to obviously get some objectives. And then the big one, the Chonk, is that Ares gunship. And then he also followed that up with 2 Grav Tanks and a Calidus Assassin. This is fucking phenomenal. I absolutely love this a lot. Because it's something different. Like I just talked about how they only have 10 data sheets, so everybody's running the same fucking thing, which is a bunch of Wardens. He's running the foot soldiers that he needs to with the 10 Guardian squad, or the 10 Custodian guards, just to be able to get some objectives, and then the Alaris, obviously, to maybe deep strike in. But that Ares is a very rare C. It's T12, 22 wounds, 2 up, 5 up, so it doesn't even benefit from the 4 up that they all have. And it's got a weird profile for its shooting. So it looks like it has 2 heavy blaze cannons, and those are 4 shots each, strength 12, -3, d6 plus 1. So that's a lot of d6 plus 1 shots. That's 8 shots. And then it has 1 Magna Blaze, which is just 3 shots at d6 plus 6. That's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, that's great. It's a lot of points, but it's what's interesting here.
It's a huge footprint too.
Oh yeah, it's huge. But what I like about this list is it's pretty shooty, so it can threaten big things in the shooting phase, which usually Custodes don't really do.
No, it's insanely shooty. It's just phenomenal. I love seeing this new way to run Custodes.
Yeah, as a Knight player, I don't want any piece of that.
No, that would fuck you up.
Yeah, bad.
That'd be awesome. And his first opponent was orcs. Holy shit. Fuck ton of characters, 7 characters, bunch of boys, and just some mega knobs, some knobs all over. So that honestly to me seems like a hard matchup, because I don't know if he has the fighting ability to deal with that much stuff, because all of his shooting was such high strength, low number of shots. So that's a solid win.
It's an interesting list format too.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. His next one, he played against Taylor John Morton, running Astra Militarum, tank commanders, some Catachans all over the fucking place, fuck ton of Catachans, bunch of Chimeras, and some Basilisks, and then just followed by more tanks. Obviously, he used his big guns, knew his meta, and fucking drove through that list. That's pretty cool. That Blaze Cannon probably did money.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It was like,
yeah,
hey,
I'm sure it picks something up
here's
every
3
shooting
shots.
phase.
Yeah, it's picking up 2 Chimeras a turn, honestly, pretty reliably. And the last one is going to be Death Guard, with just some big Terminator blobs, bunch of crawlers, things that he wants to eat, and then a bunch of brigands. Yeah, no, this list is designed for him to crush. That's cool.
Interesting. Good job, David.
Yeah, no, David, that's awesome. It's really fun to see some custodes play differently. You had no wardens, and I was like, even going into that, because I hadn't looked at the list yet, I was already talking about how that wasn't going to be. It was just going to be the same Adeptus Custodes list, and he proved that there's multiple ways to run it. So strong work, and good job to Jonathan and David for winning that Game Vault El Paso. Our next one is going to be Evolution Games, their March 40K ITC RTG. That one was over in Fort Worth, Texas, ran by Daniel King. It looks like it was a 15-person event, and our placings are as follows. We have number 1 is going to be Justin Moore. Good job, Justin. Running Chaos Demons. Let's look at his list. I'm not gonna make any assumptions this time. I'm not gonna say it's a bunch of chonky boys. Cool. It's not yet.
Justin, you got to come up with a name for your list, man. Come on.
Yeah. His name is It Wins. So we have Bellicor, Selesky, fucking that one up. Greater Unclean One. Oh no, it is a bunch of chonky boys. Greater Unclean One with the Endless Give in it, that 4-up Feel No Pain. Keeper of Secrets with the Soul Stealer. And then a Lord of Change with the Everstab, just to put out that metric fuck ton of shooting. 10 Demonettes and 3 Soul Grinders. This is a chunky boy list. I like it a lot. The only critique that I would say is maybe it doesn't have enough scoring to go up on like larger events, just because as soon as you start putting down those chonky boys that he has, the list kind of doesn't have enough to keep up. But still really fun to see. I like it. And I like how demons have been doing so good. I love seeing demons on the table. Like, it's really easy to paint demons to look beautiful. Like, it's just they're cool fucking models. Let's see what Justin played against. So he played against Zarin Harvey, and Zarin was running World Eaters. Honestly, with the nerf that World Eaters got, and he's running a metric fuck ton of Berserkers, I just don't think he had the damage output that he needed.
It's probably a game of keep away, I would imagine.
Yep. Or, I mean, not even keep away. Because even just one of these Berserker units isn't going to kill those big guys that he has. And he just ties them up and then just starts to eat them. So that's pretty cool. Next
Kevin.
one. Oh, he beat up on Kevin.
Oh, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Kevin Grubbs with Pew Pew.
Kevin probably won Best Painted.
Kevin probably did. So Kevin playing his Space Marines again. And it's a pretty normal-looking Gladys Task Force Space Marine list. Just a bunch of shooting everywhere. Honestly, could have given Justin a run for his money, but with Bellicor having that 18-inch loan op that he gives out for a 6-inch bubble, probably put Kevin on the fence with a lot of what he was doing in that game. So good win there, man. Because if that shooting actually has a turn to pop off, it can nuke a bunch of those big demons. And then his last one is gonna be Chad Lapham. Playing
Iron Storm.
Cool. Yeah, once again, man. And I think we've talked about this list before for Chad. It's a bunch of dreadnoughts, a bunch of vehicles. It's like all dreadnoughts and vehicles or dreadnought suits because it's a bunch of war suits. So that could have some really easy swingy turns for him. And obviously Justin was able to pilot that to get that win on that one. So strong work, Justin. That's a good list. And I like this list a lot. I think Chaos Demons is one of those things that we're seeing a lot, It does really well, and people just underestimate its shooting. What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I think there's some lists that just can't deal with this.
Yeah.
And when I say some, I mean a lot, obviously. A little bit different than what David Hall is doing, but interesting. Justin usually does pretty well, the artist formerly known as Milkman.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, Justin. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, and demons have they have the uppy downy ability. He's got all of the enhancements that he needs. The endless gift to make that greater unclean one significantly more durable. The Lord of Change with the Everstaff to make it so much more shooty. That Everstaff adds 1 to the strength characteristic of the ranged weapons and increases the range by 3 inches, which is really fucking strong. And then if they're in the Shadow Chaos, it increases its strength by 2, which is great, and its range by 6. And then that Soul Stealer as well. Each time the bearer destroys an enemy unit with a melee attack, roll a d6, and on a 4-up, you get 1 lost wound back. So that can make that Keeper of Secrets really strong. I like this list a lot.
Actually, I think the Tzeentch Soul Grinders probably do a lot of work in that list because they almost shoot like Vindicators.
Yeah.
But they're good in combat too.
Yep. No, the Soul Grinders are like, I love seeing them. They're an auto take. The first time that I saw David run them, I was like, holy shit! Where have these been? What have we been doing? So strong work, Justin, on that one. And then our next one is going to be Greg Harris, who went undefeated at the Evolution Games event, running Custodes again. It's funny, Custodes, 2 second place winners. They run their little chunky boys and their big Aries, and they couldn't get those points. So breaking them down, we've got a Blade Champion, that's with the Veiled Blade, the Ceaseless Hunter, so just making them better at killing stuff.
Oh, surprise, there's Trajan.
Trajan's an auto-take, though. Like, Trajan's like seeing Canis
Rex.
Rex.
That guy shows up everywhere.
Yeah, it's like seeing Canis Rex in a Knights list. It's just going to happen. They're just too good. And then we have a Custodian Guard, Prosecutors as well, just to probably hold down his backfield, do some objectives, or do some actions if he needs to, because he has Custodes, so they don't have as many units to do actions. Calidus Grav Tank, Calidus Grav, Custodes Wardens, and Witch Seekers, and then that Kyra Draxus. Mm-hmm. I love seeing Draxus. I like Draxus a lot. She just helps out that unit so much that she's attached to. So her damage output is better than I ever thought it was going to be. She's got the anti-infantry 4-up with devastating wounds, dire singers, that's 2 damage each. So it's just nuking anti-infantry. And then she also has 6 indirect fire shots with sustained hits too, and it's psychic. Granted, both of them are AP 0. It's still really strong. And then I think she gives that...
The Psychic Veil is the big one that people
Psychic
are using
Veil,
her for.
Yeah, so it's that 18-inch low-knot bubble pretty much on a 2-up. Which that always goes off. So that's really strong, especially putting it on a squad like Wardens or Custodian Guard, who just are already so durable. So let's see who Greg played against. We've got Alex Harris. I wonder if there's a relation there. Or Alec Harris, sorry. Playing T-Sons.
That 4+ mortal wound protection probably came in pretty handy there.
Yep, yeah. They already are innately strong into armies that put out a fuck ton of mortals. So that's really that's a good matchup right there. Next one is going to be Castellet Whitting, and we're running Cast Demons. Oh, cool.
Oh.
Different lists, still chunky as fuck. Bellacore, Bloodthirster, Scarbrand, Skullmaster. Bunch of Bloodletters, Blood Crushers. So just heading down that road and maybe putting out some mortals of the Blood Crushers, which honestly kind of bounce off the Custodes. And Custodes really do like eating large demons. It's their job. And then the last one, everybody's beating up on Grubbs this weekend. Damn. Kevin Grubbs again with his Ultramarines got beat out by Greg Harris. Honestly, with the Ultramarines, that can be a really swingy matchup if your opponent just can't roll anything less than 4s, even though you have the damage output to really focus them down. It can be a very, very hard matchup. So strong work there, Greg. Good win with your Custodes. Overall, Justin, strong win winning that event. Can't wait to see you at the next event, man, because I actually hope you're playing Demons. I like playing into Demons right now. I think that's a really fun list to play into. All right. So our next one is going to be New World Gaming. Their March 40K 10th RTT. And this is going to be in Little Elm, Texas. You been to Little Elm before?
I don't even know where that is.
Really? You don't know where that is?
Nope.
Aren't you a Texan? You tell everybody you're a
There's a lot of Texas.
Yeah, there is a lot of Texas. Texas is a big state. That's why it has so many fucking events. This is like the first weekend that it hasn't been 6 events. There's only been 4 events this weekend.
Oh, wow. Well, it was Easter weekend, too.
Oh, yeah, it was Easter weekend. Son of a bitch. That actually makes a lot of sense. God damn. All right. Hey, so for New World Gaming, sorry, guys. For New World Gaming, we have Robert Fishbeck. And we are playing Orcs. Fuck yeah, Orcs. The name list is just B. I wonder if he had an A, a B, and a C, and like maybe a D list, and he just like rolled the dice and was like, all right.
I mean, to be or not to be, right?
Yeah. We've got a knob with a WA banner. We have a war boss with no upgrades, a war boss with the Follow Me Lads, making them a little bit faster. A war boss on a war bike. I like seeing those because they're just really, honestly, underestimatedly good at just being annoying as fuck on those war bosses on war bike. And then we have Zogrod, Wartsnaga. I actually don't know what Zogrod does all that much. Is Zogrod the jumpy guy?
I mean, honestly, Orcs all look the same to me. I can't tell them apart. Some of them are a little bit bigger than others, but you don't see that one a ton.
Oh, no, that's that new model. That's the cool, the Beastnaga model. So he has a 6-up feel no pain. Oh, shit. While he's leading a unit, he gives him Scout, which is super fucking great for Orcs. When you call the wall until the start of the next battle round, 6 inches of move characteristics of models in that unit. That's fucking insane. That is really cool.
What can he lead?
He can honestly probably lead Gretchen. Wow. GW, what the fuck? I thought he was leading...
imagining this guy with 20 boys popping up and...
Well, I thought he was going to lead Beastnaga boys or whatever the fuck. Holy shit, that's dumb as fuck, GW. Leading Gretchen. I hope this guy ran him with Gretchen and just fucking ran him up the field. He also in melee, for Orcs, kind of iffy. 5 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 7, -2 damage. He has such a... It's such a cool
for 80
model.
points, he's not horrible.
He's got a goddamn claw and he
looks
makes...
like Bob Marley.
He makes Gretchen run fucking 11 inches for no reason. That's fucking amazing. And Scout. Alright, let's see what we have. Can you put Gretchen into a battle wagon?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, maybe he scouted the battle wagon. Maybe he's figured out something.
I think the boys were probably in that.
Yeah. So we have a 20-man boys squad. Next one is going to be a battle wagon, a Def Copta.
Okay.
Haven't seen those in a while. Honestly, I like the Def Copta. I think it has a good output. I just think that it just holds too much space on the board. Our Gargantuan Squigoth, yes. That's why I fucking love RTTs. You're able to, at RTTs, just bring out your fucking absolutely cool-looking models like the Gargantuan Squigoth with just huge tusks is all it has. Does it have fucking ranged weapons? It does. It has a cannon. So it's got a super cannon or a cannon, I think, and then a huge tusk. 6 attacks, strength 14, -3, 12 damage with lance.
Holy shit.
That's fucking amazing.
How fast does that thing move?
10 inches. So actually,
Jesus.
for that size of the model, pretty fast. That's awesome to see a Squigoth. T13 looks like 30 wounds with a 3-up save. No invul, though. So kind of lacking there. But it can transport dudes. So maybe holy fucking shit, if you put the Gretchen in that and then scouted it up, can it...
Is it actually a transport? Oh,
20
shit,
orc infantry models. Yeah, that's awesome. Fuck. I really hope he put that in there. Scouted them up because he's leading it with this fucking random character I remember with Zogrod. That is phenomenal. I hope he did that. God, every orc player start doing that. That just sounds fun as fuck. A 10-man or a 10-man Gretchen squad next, followed by a 20-man Gretchen squad, which I think is where Zogrod went to, and I think those fuckers... oh no, I guess it's only a 19-man squad. Yep. You know why it's 19? Because he put it in the dude. That's... Oh no, there's a run herd. I don't know. It's so fucking weird. Such a weird list. I like this. Then a big knob squad, a Storm Boys squad, Storm Boys, another one, War Bikers, just a 3-man squad, and then another 3-man War Biker squad, and then a 6-man War Biker squad. Holy fuck, this list is all over the place. I like it though.
I like it a lot. We're not seeing this a lot. This is different.
No, I mean, you are, though, right? Like, you're seeing that where that Gargantuan Squiggoth points are taken up is what people are putting into, like, other characters that are really hard to kill, like Gazgul and that other fucking giant squig riding guy.
Yeah, that unkillable asshole on the big squig.
Yep. And what you're seeing is he switched that over to this Gargantuan squig. Hopefully scouted it. Fucking that'd be so sweet. Called the wall. And made it like strength fucking 1,000,000 with Lance. 12 damage each. That is...
I like it.
Fucking amazing. Super fun list. I love seeing this on table. It's honestly like so many fucking models too. That is awesome to see. I really
that guy
like
can
seeing
tank
this
shock
list.
pretty hard too.
Yeah, I mean it's guaranteed 6.
Yeah,
like
pretty
that's
much.
It. Like it's so fun to see that. That's
good job.
Phenomenal. Strong work, Bob. Go, Bob. All right, Bob. Your first opponent was Caleb Sulkin with list named W. Did you guys just go through the alphabet? All right, we have a B. I'm gonna write this shit down. Was it? We had a B. We had a W. I'm gonna see if it spells anything by the end of it. Playing Custodes. Pretty standard Custodes list. Nothing too crazy. But I like seeing it.
And a Verser. That's different.
Yeah. It could just be like one of those things where like, hey, that's the assassin he had sort of thing. Because they all really roll in at the same amount of points. Honestly, that fucking Squiggoth probably just ate all of the fucking Custodes.
Literally.
Yep. Like, hey, don't roll 4s. Cool. I'm going to eat you. So, strong win there, man. The next one is going to be Paul Stanfield. Playing Space Marines, Black Templars. With the Righteous Crusaders. Like seeing that. Just making Black Templars good at what they're supposed to do, which is just pray and hope things work out. With a bunch of Sword Brethren squads, some Redemptors. Pretty cool list, actually, to see. Actually, this one could give the Orcs a little bit of a run for their money because it's got some of the good units like Hellbrick and things like that. And I think that's a solid win on the Orcs just because those Sword Brethren squads trade really well and may not die when you do that trade with Orcs. So that can be pretty devastating. And his last opponent was William Worley. With Orcs. Holy fuck. But he named it Squiggoth. Okay, so it didn't spell anything. Damn it. I was hoping there would be like a B, an M, and a W just to spell like BMW or something. Like something fun. Who knows? But he named this one Squiggoth. Please tell me this fucking guy has another Squig. And
There's
he does!
Our boy!
Yes! So this store that this was hosted at out in fucking wherever this was. Little Elm that we don't even know has a bunch of fucking Orc players running a fuck ton of giant Squiggoths.
More Squiggoths per capita than anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I mean that's a fun list though. When you go up against the Mirror and the Mirror is running something very similar to you, it really comes down to like that player's skill. So that's a super strong one there. Or it could also just go to like that player, whoever goes second, because as a melee army, you really kind of want to go second.
I really hope
just fucking them up.
Somebody played with those.
That's awesome.
Bouncing Orc dice.
This one has like flash gets and shit like that. Oh my god, I would hate if they played with those Orc dice. I fucking hate those Orc dice. I won't let. I even at like small events, I'll be like, hey man, those are impossible to read. Like I'll buy you dice. Like this is too much for me.
I think I'm gonna find some of those and use those next time we play.
You get dice block and I'll just eat them.
Okay.
Like eventually they'll come out in my poo because they're shit.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, hey, strong work there. That was our only undefeated at New World Gaming. The next one closest was
second
Austin
place.
Martin.
Custodes again.
With Custodes again. So second place. It's the second place weekend for Custodes. That's the way to do it. Hey, strong work, Robert. That was super. That was a fun list to talk about, honestly. And I'm glad that you got to play the Mirror and win. So good job. All right, our last one that we're going to talk about is the Battleground Monthly RTT, the Hiya. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. So our fourth place winner was John Cook. Strong work, John. I love seeing you actually win some stuff. Playing Space Wolves, which is John Cook's kind of like stomping ground. I think he's playing...
Maximum John.
Yeah, I think he played Space Wolves before Space Wolves were Space Wolves. Just a good Stormlance task force as well with this one. We've got an Apothecary Biologus, Chaplain with a Jump Pack, a Herald Deadwolf. I don't know what the fuck that one does, actually. I haven't seen that guy. After Mr. Deadwolf, we have a Librarian, and then a Lieutenant with a combi weapon, and Grimnar on Storm Rider. Herald Deadwolf. I think this is the guy that either attaches. Yeah, he attaches to unit, makes him super strong. Yep. While eating unit, whenever they the crushing teeth and claws have devastating wounds. It's pretty good.
How is this guy only 85 points?
I think it's just a random
amazing.
character. His honestly is his ranged weapon is terrible. That's why it's just a bolt pistol. And his melee weapon is not the best. So 6 attacks, 2 up, strength 6 minus 2 damage. I think he's worth 80 points. I think it's a good take. Oh shit, there's more. Holy fucking dicks. John, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. We have 2 Wolfguard battle leaders on Thunderwolves. After that, one with Fury of the Storms and one with Hunter's Instinct. That Hunter's Instinct is the one that I don't know about. Hunter's Instinct. What the fuck? Did I spell that wrong? I did. Sorry, guys. Spelling's hard. And I can't find it. And fuck it. The next one is going to be that Fury of the Storms upgrade, which we will also talk about. Fury of the Storm, which is going to be making their melee weapons better, increasing the strength and armor penetration by 1. And if it's a charge move, it's by 2 instead, which is really fucking strong and makes that Thunderwolf guy really, really good with his Thunder Hammer. After that, we have Assault Intercessors with jump packs, jumping around, causing issues. They do mortals on the charge, which is pretty fun. A Centurion Assault Squad, we don't see that many of these running around, but that's a 300-point big-ass assault squad with siege drills and melta. I like seeing it. That's a hard squad to chew through. That is a fuck ton of them. Then we have a Drop Pod, an Eradicator Squad, a big Hellblaster Squad. Jeez, John, this is awesome. A Thunderwolf Cavalry, a big man, and then another 6-man Thunderwolf Cavalry. I like this list. It has a fuck ton of damage output. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I've played John several times with lists that look similar to this, and they concern me every time I play them.
Yep.
They look beautiful. John won Best Painted in this event.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, just John's always fun to play against. He's fun to be around, and I'm not surprised this list did well.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's pretty tough.
I like it a lot. You this is like a flanking sort of list. You have 2 Thunderwolf Cavalries like coming in from whatever sides that you want, and then just having that Hellblaster Squad in the center, and it's like, hey, you want to attack me? Cool. I still shoot you. And then that big Eradicator Squad, that's fucking sick too. Like, it's just so much like short-ish to medium range shooting piled on top of those character-supported Thunderwolf Cavalry that make this list really kind of meld together. So I'm not surprised that he went undefeated. Strong work. Let's see who John played. John played first. He played Tom Shattuck. And Tom was playing Orcs. Ooh, if there's another Gargantuan Swiggoth, I'm going to buy one right now. Fuck, there isn't. No. Damn it, I could have used it as... But there's a Morkanaut. Hell yeah.
Yay.
Cool. Cool looking Orcs list. Honestly, those Thunderwolf probably ate the living fuck out of them. And that Melta and the Melta with the plasma destroyed that Morkanaut. More than likely.
Next one was the other Knight player.
Oh, hey, Imperial Knights. Da Freelancers, so he must have been possibly a Da Orc player before. And this is going to be John Finn. A Lancer, a Castellan, so Big Knight. And it's not a Castellan that can jump around either. Surprised he didn't give him that upgrade. And just a bunch of Armigers, followed by a Calidus Assassin. Honestly, those Thunderwolf Cav made fucking work of this, as well as John knowing, hey, I should bring some Melta, because Melta's fucking good. So, and last one is going to be, he played against Benjamin Tanguay with Astra Militarum. 2 Castellans. Gaunt's Ghost, pretty normal. Lord Solar. Holy fucking shit. So many characters. There's so many characters. It's like 2 fucking 8-man character lists going up against each other. They're both like, hey, take Assassinate. Yeah, it's a weird list. It's got a Dorn, some Kazakhstan rolling around, some demo vehicles. That's cool. And then
I think John probably walked right over him. Almost literally.
Yeah, I think he has the ability to do that very well against this list with the speed and the devastation that the Space Wolves can hand out. Hey, strong work, John. Those are some, honestly, I think even the IG, I don't know if you necessarily walked straight over that. I think that could have been a really hard match because that list scores super well. So strong work there, man. You played it. You played it really well.
Good job, John.
Next one is going to be Robert Grimes with Cabal of the Poison Tongue. So that is going to be a Drakari list or Dark Eldar, however you want to call them. Bunch of characters. So we got a couple of Archons running around with Spiteful Raider. I'm looking at what he ran. He ran the Sky Splitter Assault. So that's the one where they get lanced and they can ignore cover and shit like that. Your headphones okay?
Yeah.
Is it just your bald head?
It's a little hot, yeah.
Oh, man. Is it really hot? I don't know. I was thinking it's cold. You just got to drink more bourbon. Or less bourbon. Sorry, we're getting back to this, though. A Beastmaster. I like seeing the Beastmaster. Honestly, the Beastmaster is can be a good, just aggressive, deal with this unit because it's got the Chimeras in there and the Claude Fiend and everything to chew through.
You know how I feel about units that have different profiles, and the Beastmaster kind of does that. It's kind of like a second Archon's Court. They're actually pretty nasty.
Yep.
But I think anytime you have a unit where you can allocate damage and stick, one wound attacks onto guys with many wounds and like Melta attacks onto guys with one wound, it becomes a lot stronger. And we're starting to see, I think, the Beastmaster a little bit more because of that. Yeah,
even that and the Court of the Archon, I think they're both really fucking strong. So I'm happy to see that guy in there. And then we've got Lilith, one Cabalite, a Rack squad, just 5 Racks, 10 Witches, obviously to pal around with Lilith. Hey, there's the Court of the Archon, look at that.
Yep.
10 Incubi, 5 Incubi, being obviously led by those Archons. 1-2 Mandrakes. I love seeing Mandrakes.
Cool models, new ones coming out.
Yeah, I mean they're cool models, but I just like what they do for your opponent that when you play against them. They're move blockers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're really throwing them out and you're saying, hey opponent, you either have to go deal with these guys. So you're forcing your opponent onto objectives, or your opponent has scout and you're saying, guess what? You don't get to scout because I just covered more than half the board with your anti-scout. Enjoy.
He's already playing a list that's really mobile, so I think when you can dictate how your opponent moves, it becomes even stronger.
And I don't know if there's a Dark Eldar list that isn't mobile. But yeah, that's a very good point.
This one's pretty mobile.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3 Scourges. Those are all going to be with... Oh, no, they're not. Hey, look at that. We have 1 Haywire Blaster squad and then 2 Darklance squad. For those of you who don't know, Scourges, they get to shoot and then they get to immediately jump back. So they're really hard to get to. Honestly, what I noticed with dealing with Scourges, one of the best ways to do that is with Overwatch. It works super fucking well because they are very, very weak and it's only a 5-man squad. So if you get some pop shots off, they disappear. A Chronos, just to bring back those pain tokens. A Ravager, 1, 2, 3 Raiders, to obviously use the benefits from the detachment when you come out of vehicles, getting that Lance, and having the ability to ignore cover and things like that. And then 2 Venoms as well, just to roll around and shoot those Splinter Cannons and hold on to a couple dudes. Super strong list. Drakari originally, one of those boogeyman lists in my opinion. I thought Drakari were going to come out hitting a lot more. In the end of the day, after their point decreases and everything like that, they significantly increased. They went from like an F-tier army to a solid A-tier army. They're just not super broken because in the end of the day, they're very squishy.
Yeah, I think they're kind of back to the boogeyman list that they were in almost in the last edition. They're getting not quite as strong.
No way. Yeah, they're getting there though, and I think they're a solid A-tier list.
They're going to be bullies.
Yeah, for sure. And I like his team name, Happy Goats. So Robert Grimes, we played against William Ivey, playing GSC. I can only assume. Nope, Astra Militarum. Sorry, Will, you got smoked, son. Will's actually a really good Astra Militarum player though, so this is a solid win because he has Basilisks, he has Bulgrins, he has Kazarkins. And he has the Medusa carriages as well, so he has the ability to pop open all of his transports and then also kill the guys inside. So that's a strong win there. That's a solid matchup because Will's a very good player.
So according to Will, he bought a new dice tray that he was rolling into on this, and apparently its machine spirit hadn't been broken. And he said he rolled really bad, and they got through about 3 rounds.
Damn.
So
I
don't know. Will's a great player. He scares the shit out of me.
Yep.
Don't ever tell him I said that, but
I mean, you just told everybody you said that.
yeah, I guess that's true.
We're
gonna erase that part, right?
Fixing it in post.
But it's a good win for Robert, I think.
Yeah.
Will's a tough player.
Yep. So his next one was going to be Orcs. We've got a Wartrike. Where are we at? We got a Mazrog, a Knob, Warboss. Just normal kind of Orc shenanigans. Honestly, that's another good win because Orcs, when they walk, they can really be super devastating. But when you're playing two armies that have units and vehicles that are melee, it really comes down to actually who goes second sometimes and is able to counter their opponents getting out of their vehicles. And at least Dark Eldar have a really strong way of getting back into those vehicles where Orcs don't have that. So even if the Orc player connected, it can still be really difficult because they killed the vehicle, but then the guys on the inside on their opponent's next turn smoke everything. So solid win there. And the next one's going to be Andrew Deaton playing Ironstorm Spearhead. And I actually think that's a really fucking hard matchup too, because they have enough shooting to deal with killing the transports that are escorting the Dark Eldar up the board than killing the Dark Eldar. So that's
this could be a tricky game.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, he worked it out, and that was his lowest scoring game as well, 71. That's not surprising at all to me. And then that 99 for the Orcs as well is also not surprising. So, hey, good work, Robert. Love seeing Dark Eldar out there. Our next person is going to be David Hall. We've also talked about his list. I don't know if it's changed too much from before. And we already talked about demons today, so I'm going to go through this kind of quick. He's got Bellicor, giving those defensive buffs. Also, Bellicor is just a dickhead and kills things. Great Unclean One with the Endless Gift, giving that Fort Feel of Pain. Keeper Secrets, Soul Stealer, same thing. Lord of Change with the Everstab, making it just better shooting. And the Changeling, followed by Nurglings, a 10-man Pink Horror, just to be annoying as fuck, and a 10-man Plague Bearer, just to be annoying as well, followed by 2 Soul Grinders. We've talked about this list a lot. David has been fucking crushing it in Texas. He's been doing a very good job. Let's see what he actually had to play against and just beat up on. Old Kyle Kingsbury. Playing...
I see a B.
Yep. What's the B?
I don't know.
Oh, I think that's just like the detachment thing. There's a bunch of B's, bro. I think it's like just the editing thing. Guys, Aaron saw a letter. All right. So this is known as a What Hordes moment. But he's playing Vanguard Spearhead with Space Marines. And I think that David Hall's list just crushes Space Marines. I think David Hall's list crushes Space Marines and Custodes really, really well. Next one, another Space Marines. He played against Black Templars with the Righteous Crusaders. If those melee connections don't happen properly and David Hall doesn't roll terribly, he also just can rock into that list pretty well. And the last one is going to be Alberto Nicolas, the Carthaginian, playing Tau.
Yep.
This is actually probably his least favorite matchup to see, depending on how many big shooting units that this Tau has. And it's a lot of stealth battle suits, a lot of Tetras, a lot of Piranhas, not as many fucking... what are the tanks called? The
Hammerheads.
Hammerheads. Not as many Hammerheads and not as many Riptides. So when David saw this, he was probably like, fuck yes.
So Alberto is kind of a new face to Texas. He comes to us by way of Spain. He just moved to Austin.
Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So he knows Brett, the Catachin. They played on the UN team together, and word on the street he was a pretty good player. And the feedback I got is he's a pretty good player. So apparently that last top table matchup between him and David was just a slog fest.
Nice. I mean, he kept David to 65 points, and that's really hard to do at those top tables. That's a low win. So strong work there, man. And welcome to Texas. Hopefully you can watch this, and we'll talk about you a little bit more. Just beat out David so you can get those first place wins. And then our last first place winner for the week, and this is going to be our faction focus as well, is going to be Aaron Kelman, which is this asshole right here. So let's talk about your list, man. I'm going to let you kind of take over. What do we got? This
first off, the name?
I don't know. What does it say? I can't read your name.
The Knights Who Say Neat. So it's Monty Python reference.
Yep.
Most of you guys are probably too young to recognize it.
I don't think they are. I don't have a lot
fun.
of young listeners. I think I looked at my demographics. They're all like 35, so they should know like this. They're all males. I have one international listener, and they're all between like 27 and like 35.
You know what? Answer it in the chat, and the fifth person to answer the question, I got 10 Banff dice for you.
Holy shit! All right, guys. Hey, that's it. This is our giveaway this week.
Dumbest giveaway ever, but that's going to be it.
I'll mention it again at the end too.
Yeah, there we go.
I like it. Hey, so the giveaway this week is 10 free Banff dice from Aaron Kelman. If you
have to correctly identify,
be the fifth person to correctly identify where Knights Who Say Nin is from.
Yeah, complicated as fuck.
Complicated as fuck. So
I love it.
Comment that. All right, let's rock into this, dude. So your Noble Lance, what does that do for you?
Basically, everybody gets a 6-up, feel no pain.
Okay, is that the only option they can take?
That is the only option they can take.
Okay, cool. Too easy. So 6-up, feel no pain.
If you fulfill your oath that you take at the beginning of the game, it becomes a 5-up in addition to you getting an additional 3 CP.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What's our next thing that we have?
Canis. Everybody knows Canis.
I don't know Canis. What is Canis?
AKA Anus Rex.
Okay.
He is basically like probably the biggest beat stick in the game. Like almost literally, he's the biggest. He does the most damage.
Yeah.
He's fucking insanely good.
So for those of you that don't know what Canis does, or Canis, however we want to call his name, is it Canis?
I believe it's pronounced Anus Rex.
Is it Anus Rex?
It is Anus Rex.
Way. That's hilarious. All right.
The C is silent.
He explodes with critical hits on a 5 or better, and all of his stuff has sustained hits. His main high-intensity gun is Strength 14 with D6 shots, -3, 4 damage each. Every time I play with this fucking guy, that model explodes a shit ton because it's on 5s and 6s. And because his Knight household gives him the reroll 1 wound and 1 hit, it helps Canis out a lot. So so that converting 1 miss can sometimes convert into 2 hits, which is really fucking strong. Yeah,
this guy usually hits more times than his actual attacks are.
Yeah.
He's just crazy good. He has a free reroll every turn.
Is it a free reroll or is it just a free CP?
Sorry, it's a free CP, which for me usually turns into a reroll because it has to be a battle tactic.
Yep, it's a once per turn. You can target this model with a stratagem for 0 CP, even if you've already done so to another unit. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Is the rotate ion shields, is that one too or no?
No, that's a war gear stratagem, unfortunately. Fail. So yeah, it usually turns into a reroll. But yeah, Canis is crazy good. Yep. You know, his gun doesn't look that good on paper because it only does 4 damage, but
that's phenomenal. I think 4
it used
damage
to be
is
D6.
amazing.
4 is better because it's a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
But you know, when you have exploding hits and you can command point reroll the number of shots, like that guy is basically going to kill a vehicle and shooting almost every time.
100%.
AP3.
And then let's say, I don't know, you don't get that, and you have your free CP reroll of charges. What's his melee like?
It's pretty damn scary. So he's got 2 profiles. The first one is 5 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 20, -3 AP.
Yeah, strength 20.
Strength 20.
Just nothing.
9 damage.
Yeah.
So 5 attacks hitting on 2s, you're probably going to convert all of them with a reroll. You're probably going to get 2 or 3.
That is the possibility of 45 damage before the critical hits.
Before, yeah. And I have actually had this dude do 90 wounds in a round of combat before.
That's fucking crazy.
Insane.
That is phenomenal. I like it.
And the trump that Canis has is if you do actually kill this dude, the little asshole Sir Hector gets out and runs around. You have to kill that guy too. To get credit for most things for killing the guy. So for 435 points, absolutely can't beat it. He's actually one of the cheapest knights out there. And
you get a lone op character that pops out of the fucking tank it's been riding for the last 4 turns of the game.
Yeah, he's crazy good. He's like an auto take. If you're not taking Canis in a knight list, it's probably because you don't have the model.
Yep. All right, well, let's talk about your next guy. So we have Canis Rex. The next one is going to be what?
The Cerastus Knight Castigator.
Okay, what does that one do?
That guy, on paper, looks like one of the most underwhelming knights you can get. he fulfills
Where are these papers you're reading? I'm reading these rules right now, and none of these fucking seem underwhelming.
Well, how many people are taking it?
Let me read you guys verbatim what his underwhelming on-paper knight sounds like. It's 465 points. Shucks, it's a fucking knight. It's T12, 25 wounds. Its castigator cannon is 18 shots, hitting on 3s, strike 6, -2, 2 damage, twin linked. That sounds just shucks terrible.
That's pretty much why you take him. Yeah. Right there.
And his fucking ability is when this model is affected by this ability. Oh, it's he bondsmans people and gives them sustained 1 and improved armor penetrations on ranged weapons. So he fucking buffs the other knights. Where on paper does this look bad?
Oh, I even forgot he gave out sustained hits. That's hilarious.
Jesus Christ.
So what this guy does for you is he's one of the only things in a knight list that's going to point at an infantry unit and probably delete it, unless it's a heavy infantry unit like custodes, and he's still going to put a pretty big dent in them. He's also pretty good at chipping wounds off of vehicles because for some reason the castigator bolt cannon is actually twin linked.
You know that he also makes units -1.
Yeah. Yeah, I do know that.
So he suppresses as well. He makes units -1 to hit. If he shoots with them, it suppresses them as long as they're not monster
I totally
vehicle.
forgot that part too. You don't even need that stuff, but yeah, he's pretty good in combat. He can slam, but yeah, he's usually the weak link in a knight list is it's hard to take out
weak link
hordes. Yeah, what hordes?
What hordes?
So that's what the castigator's there for.
Okay, cool. What do we got next? We got a knight errant next.
Oh, he's my favorite.
Why is he your favorite? What do we got?
Also, one of the cheapest knights you can get. It's pretty popular to give this guy Mysterious Guardian, which is uppy downy once per game.
Yep.
Really, what warms my heart on this guy, literally, is the thermal cannon.
Okay.
It is 2d3 shots. It's blast, and it's 24 inches, melt to 6.
That's really strong.
Very strong. If you shoot at the closest eligible target, he's +1 to hit. So if you're doing it right with uppy downy, you're hitting what you want to hit on 2s. You're probably wounding what you want to hit on 3s or 2s. And you're doing crazy damage with this guy.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that a lot. All right, after that we have... What do we got?
3 Helverins.
3 Helverins. For those of you that don't know, the Helverins are anti-fly 2-up, which is fucking annoying as shit. It's also 8 shots, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so 8 shots. Is it strength 7 or 8?
9.
Strength 9. Strength 9, AP 1, 3 damage. Super fucking good. Very strong. What do you normally use your Helverins for?
Well, the reason why I have 3 instead of 2 is because they're a little bit cheaper, and I can just squeeze an extra armiger in if I take them, but they work really well with the castigator with an extra AP, because kind of the weak point on Helverins is AP 1.
Yeah, that's a really good bondsman for them.
There's actually a strat you can play where if multiple armigers shoot at the same thing, they get a bunch of bonuses. The most important one is AP, so one of these guys can be hitting at AP 3, and 2 of them could be hitting at AP 2. And when you start shooting at flyers and they're wounding on 2s, if you're in your deployment or on an objective, they hurt. They hurt bad.
That's super good, actually.
They're actually super good into Necrons.
Yeah.
Necrons hate these guys.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. And then our last thing, or our second to last thing, we have a Hellglaive. Sorry, the Warglaive.
The Warglaive, yeah. Yeah, so I think everybody knows what a Warglaive does.
I don't know what a Warglaive does.
A semi-big Melta. It's not quite as big as the Errant, but it's Melta 4, 2 shots. He's okay-ish in combat. He's got exploding 6s when he charges. Really, he's there to assassinate a vehicle or a stray character or something with that Melta 4 ability.
Yeah.
Which, again, Necrons hate because of the Melta rule.
So did you make this list just to deal with Necrons?
No, but it's really good at it. I've never lost to a Necron list, and I've actually played a Necron list where I killed 4 Satan in 1 turn with this.
I'm not surprised by that at all. You have 2 Melta units, they're just fucking phenomenal.
Kind of hard to come back from that, yeah. And then you got Canis, you got potential tank shock from somebody charging in.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that, yeah. So it's just like 6 wounds gone.
So, and then we have the Calidus, which, I mean, Knights pretty much need that for secondaries, and basically everything in this list fulfills a role.
I think a lot of Imperialists need that Calidus just to help them out on that 1 or 2 secondary draw that you randomly get, and you're like, thank Christ I have a Calidus, and I can get in the backfield. I can do teleport homers. I can go in a corner and do investigate signals and stuff like that. So
I think on average she probably scores me about 10 victory points a game.
that's super good.
Yeah, totally worth it for 85 points.
Yep. To get 10% of your game done?
Yeah.
Yep. Too easy. Well, cool. Let's talk about your opponents real quick. Let's go through them, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Knights after that. You played Dark Angels. How'd that game go?
Well, I played Jordan, who I've played a few times before. Jordan's a great sport. I always really enjoy playing against him. And to be completely honest, out of all the people that I played over the weekend, he was actually my toughest opponent.
No shit.
He was, yep.
Okay. Why is that?
His list is set up. He's got a couple big blocks of infantry. He's got some Hellblasters that
He's got one big Blade Guard veteran and then one big Hellblaster squad. Yeah. Were those the infantry ones you're talking about? What else we got? The Terminator Assault Squad. There we go.
Are we looking at the right one? Yeah, we are. Okay.
What'd you play against, bro?
I mean, that was like a week ago.
Yeah.
We're doing the show kind of late.
We are. But yeah, he had a big Blade Guard veteran squad with characters attached as well, and then another big Terminator squad. I don't see characters attached, and then that Hellblaster squad with probably that probably the Apothecary.
Yeah.
And the Lieutenant. No, the Lieutenant's not with it. Yeah, that's it.
I think his list might have been a little bit different than what's on here.
I just think Aaron forgot. That's okay.
That could be too, but it was really tough. Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, this doesn't look quite accurate because he had 2 Lancers.
He has 2 Lancers. They're right here, my dude.
Are they? Okay.
Lancer. I
don't remember the Terminators. I probably killed them pretty quick.
Canis probably dealt with the Terminators super fucking quick.
But yeah, he actually, this guy killed the Castigator in 1 turn.
Hell yeah.
With all the Hellblasters.
That's
so that was kind of a surprise. He
cool.
Shot him in Overwatch when he had a couple wounds left. And
that's what I tried to do.
Some of them died and shot again, and this fucker died.
Hell yeah.
So, but
cool.
Yeah, Jordan he kind of made me sweat a little bit. His dice let him down, and I think I got a little lucky. But
okay.
Enjoyed the game a lot.
Well, next one we have Cole Cook playing Orcs. Do you remember playing Orcs?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, they had some hordes probably.
Yeah, Cole, also really cool dude. I really enjoyed the game. He played a list that was not like any Orc list I've seen.
Oh yeah, bunch of fucking burner boys.
The Grot Tanks was different.
I like Grot Tanks.
Yeah, they're actually not that good.
I like them.
Turns out when you call a WOG and they have a 5-up, and you roll a lot of 5-ups, they're pretty durable.
Yeah.
So that was tricky. In our game, I uppied down the errant right in front of them, and I thought I was going to melt all of them, and I killed like 2.
Huh.
Fortunately, when they slapped back, they didn't slap back super hard.
Their AP is not that great.
No, that's kind of where they fall off.
And I think they're wounding you on 5s most of the time as well.
But yeah, basically, he was playing a non-meta list, and he was having some fun doing it. And really, in my turn 3, when I was shooting, I rolled exactly what I needed to roll and just basically killed almost everything, and then just scored out the game.
Yeah, I'm looking at these Grot Tanks. They are not that good.
No.
Strength 9. It's wounding most of your stuff on 5s. Which
Yeah, the stuff he had was painted cool as fuck. I really enjoyed it.
That's cool.
Had a couple big blocks of Orc knobs that they like to get Knights in combat. Didn't quite finish some stuff off, and I made them pay.
Okay. Hey, that happens with Knights if you ever leave one alive, just because they're those. You don't have that many models. You have like 6 models on the fucking board.
Yep.
You gotta kill them when you connect.
He got a bit unlucky.
Yeah, it happens. All right, so our next opponent, then our last one, was Lucas Flannery playing Black Templars. How'd this go for you?
This was like a really good game for me.
Yeah, this was like a pretty standard Black Templar list. It's got a bunch of Sword Brethren. It's got a Land Raider Redeemer, a bunch of Impulsors, so it's got the tanks that you want to kill, and then the shit gets out. And if it's not next to you when it needs to get out, you kill it.
It goes away.
I can see how that was a good win.
Yeah, basically in this game, I threw a couple armigers out on objectives in the middle of the table and kind of sucked him out.
Okay.
And he came out and he killed both of the armigers, and then everything in the next turn just shot him and waxed him. And
so he took the bait.
oh yeah, I like rolled perfect too. Poor Helbrecht and a bunch of sword brethren just got melted by the errant. Literally, like, just killed everything, which probably shouldn't have happened. But after that second turn, it was pretty much over.
Oh, fuck. Well, good job for winning that event.
Yeah, I do have to give him a lot of credit. He was a great sport. He played it out. I think the game was pretty much determined at that point, and he said, "I want to keep playing."
I love seeing that.
Just
honestly,
enjoyed playing him.
If there's any new players watching this, always play your games out, guys. Try not to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna lose. Because there's been so many times where I'm sure Aaron has played and I have played a game where the dice determines the game, even if you're fucking getting tabled and you're like, well, I just rolled 26s, enjoy. Like,
so unfortunately, he didn't roll 26s.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he lost, but at least he got the game in and it was fun, you know.
This was a great event. Like everybody I played was actually from the same team from Daka Fish, so I got to go around and bully them a little bit. But they're all good sports, and everybody had
I got to
a
go
fun
bully
time.
a bunch of people.
I mean, anytime I can bully somebody that's not on BAMF, especially when they're all on the same team, that's a good weekend for me.
Cool,
I love
man.
it.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a good win. All right. Well, hey, that was everybody from the weekend. So let's talk a little bit more about Imperial Knights. So there's not that many data sheets for you with Imperial Knights.
It's not a long conversation.
It can be though, possibly, right? Like there's not a lot of data sheets, but you see people with so many different lists. So let's talk. Your list is very, in my opinion, big knight focused, right? You have the 3 big knights, and then I feel like the armigers are there to support your big knights. Is that true or no?
Yeah, that's accurate. That's fair.
Okay.
I find that 2 knights, a lot of armies can deal with that. When you kick it up to 3 big knights, I think you really start gatekeeping a lot of lists. And
okay.
You start making people concentrate on big knights versus little knights, and I think it just skews things a little bit in your favor in a way that you really need as a knight player. It gives you just a little bit more durability than you might otherwise have.
Okay, and maybe just that more threat that you need just to force your opponent into those like traps that you kind of set for that Black Templars player, because they're worried so much about those big knights that they go and kill the little ones and think they're safe, and then they're not.
You've got some throwaway pieces, basically. Some expensive throwaway pieces, but...
So do you think having 4 big knights is too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you start to suffer on the secondary game. I mean, the way you're probably going to win with that list is you just beat the shit out of somebody real fast and try to score whatever you can.
And it turns into more of a stat check then.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
There is actually a build with Chaos Knights you can do with 5 big knights, which I think is a lot different. But as far as Imperial Knights go, they're a little bit more expensive. You can't quite get 5 in, but if you could, I think that would be a good build.
Okay. So like of your list right now, as you have it, you've been playing this one for a couple events.
Yeah.
Are there any changes that you have on the chopping block? Is there anything you want to add or change or make different?
Not going to change a thing.
Not going to change a thing.
David
okay.
Hall, this list is going to look exactly the same at War Dome, and I hope we play.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that'd be a fun matchup, honestly. So nothing to change there. Looking at other lists, let's look at another build. So we already talked about having just a bunch of those big knights to having maybe 2, which may be too little. 3's kind of that good where you want to be. But what about those pure armiger builds? Because we've seen them, or we've seen it with just maybe Canis or maybe the Errant jumping around and then everything else is armigers. What are your pros and cons about that?
I think you lose a lot of synergy with just armigers and in an Imperial Knight list. There's nothing that's really buffing itself or each other, and armigers aren't super durable. There's a lot of stuff that can kill armigers, and there's a lot of stuff that can kill armigers really fast too.
Yep.
So I think you lose out a lot on durability. I mean, it could be a stat check for a lot of armies, but I think most folks are building lists in a way that can take on all armigers.
Okay. I don't know why I exited out of that list. I was messing with his phone while he was talking about that. So let's talk about stratagems then. So what are some stratagems that you find yourself commonly using as a Knights player? Because we just played a game earlier tonight, and he had a huge bump because he killed my warlord and he had a fuck ton of CP. So what do we spend that CP on?
Honestly, usually it's command point reroll and rotate ion shield is what I spend it on. Sometimes shoulder the burden, which gives your stats you back up if you're down to less than 8 wounds and you're bracketed.
Yeah, so when you're bracketed, it brings you up to that next level.
Yeah.
Is that just for Titanic, or can you use that on Armigers?
You can use it on anybody. It does cost 2 points, I believe.
So 2 CP for that.
I almost never use it, honestly.
You used it in our last game, and honestly,
that was the first time I've done it in a long time.
What's the other one? There's a damage one, too, that you use.
That's the one that you do on the armigers.
Okay.
And I always forget the name. Let me look it up here. It is Squire's Duty.
Okay, Squire's Duty.
Basically, you pick a unit and of 2 or more armigers that can shoot at it. If they shoot at that unit, they're +1 to AP. And then they're +1 to damage if they're honored, which usually you're not honored until real late in the game, and you probably don't have a lot of armigers.
Unless your opponent just like throws away their warlord somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it does happen. The extra AP is money on this. Helverins, their weak spot is only being AP1. Most of the time when you're shooting at something, it's going to be in cover.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to kill Terminators that are saving on 2s, even though they do 3 damage each.
Yeah.
But man, the magic, they really start to sizzle when you get that AP up to 3. Even AP2 is pretty nasty on those guys. And the 3 damage, it does add up. If you're shooting at vehicles,
no, it adds up super.
They can chip away at them. If they're a flying vehicle like Drakari, they'll just melt them.
Nice. Well, sweet. So with all these lists, there's a lot of different knight builds, but a lot of them either they're all big guys, they're a bunch of different Armiger variants running around, or they're kind of what Aaron's build is. There's not a lot of diversity in the list. There are different knights that you can play. Besides Canis Rex and besides the Aaron, what's the other strongest big knight in your opinion?
You know, a lot of people like playing the Crusader because it's kind of a shooting beat stick.
Okay, and the Crusader, is that the one with the 2 big guns?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I don't hate him because he can deal out some damage. What I don't like about him is he doesn't have any way of defending himself really in combat. So
yeah,
if you bad touch him, like he's kind of screwed. But he can lay the hurt down on something. My thing is, for 40 points less, you can get a Knight Errant.
Yeah.
Which can also have the thermal cannon. He just doesn't have the second gun. He's got a close combat weapon. But because he gets the bonus to hit things if it's the closest target that's eligible.
Yep.
He actually does a lot of damage.
Yeah,
he's going to kill most things. Yeah. Like I would rather have him with the close combat weapon for 40 points cheaper.
What's your least favorite big knight then? And when I say big knight, I'm talking about like Titanic knights.
Yeah, Questoris or Dominus. I would say my least favorite is probably the Gallant because he doesn't have a gun.
Oh, the melee one. Yeah. I like the Gallant. I love fucking charging that up the board and being like, haha, I killed 5 models.
I mean, it's so satisfying when you do it, but I've just never gotten him to work. And anytime I've played somebody with a Gallant, you just shoot it. Okay. It's not much of a threat in my opinion.
Well, cool. What about Little Knights? What's your favorite Armiger variant that's out there?
I really want to love the Morax because of the claw, but it's just too expensive.
Okay.
And it's expensive, I think, because it's got some weapon loadout options.
Well, it's got the Rad Cleanser. It's got the anti-infantry gun.
Yeah, but it sucks now. It used to be 3 damage each. Now it's down to 1.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's significantly worse. That's a big hit. I didn't realize it went down there.
Yeah. So it's almost worthless now.
Okay.
The shenanigans you can pull with the Morax is it's got a free heroic intervention, but unfortunately that's pretty limited when you're on
I think I played somebody with that the other day actually.
Yeah, when you're on a giant base, you can't make it around buildings.
Yeah, they mentioned it as I don't get gotcha, and then I was like, where's it at?
Yeah, I've tried to make it work and I just can't. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the Warglaive is probably the best all-rounder. The Helverins do slap and they're the cheapest, so it's probably the Helverin's got to be my favorite.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, hey, that's pretty good. And then the last couple questions, man. So, going into matchups, going into events, right? As one of the best knight players, honestly, in the world, easily the best knight player in Texas. what is that one opponent that you love going into? Or not necessarily opponent, not the person, but the army. What's the army that you see pairings go up and you're like, fuck yes.
Other Knights.
Other Knights. And now is that just to like show dominance, like, hey, I'm the best fucking knight, or is that because your list plays so well into Other Knights?
I mean, yes.
Okay, yeah.
On
So
both
just to both accounts, okay.
No, this list slaps into Other Knights. I mean, any knight list I play usually slaps into Other Knights.
But don't just Other Knights also slap into Other Knights?
They can. I think I've got a little bit of an edge over most players just because of the number of games that I play.
Okay.
And I try to think of those games a little bit differently than other games where instead of going out and just trying to beat the shit out of somebody right off the bat, which I do like to do. I mean, the temptation is always there.
Yeah.
I think the key is when you're going into the mirror match, you hang back a little bit and make the other guy commit first.
Yeah. And then make them just suffer on them coming out. Yep. That's
yeah, and I've got the tools to do that.
Hell yeah.
Chaos Knights I love playing against too because they're pretty similar.
Any form of knights.
Yeah, actually anything. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Tyranid Knights,
Tyranid
big bugs, Orc Knights, whatever.
GSC with a Titan.
Yeah, I don't know who would play something like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. So then, what is your least favorite matchup? What's that matchup you see parents come out and you're like, motherfucker?
Votan.
For those of you that don't know, I play Votan and I play 18 Grav, or I play 12 Grav, and apparently Grav works well into vehicles.
Grav, spoiler alert, it's really fucking good against knights because they have like 1,000,000 shots and they wound on 2s. They're 2 damage each.
Grav's also phenomenal in everything, in my opinion.
So,
okay, well, cool.
I hate that. It's actually almost insurmountable, I think. I've played Lou probably, 10 times?
I think more
and I've
than
never
that.
beaten him.
Yeah.
I've come close, and I really want to, and I will someday, but it's just a really hard one to overcome.
You just got to get me super drunk, and then
I don't even know if that'll work.
I actually went, there was a good portion of time when I lived in Mississippi that I went I would purposely get drunk and play 40K, so I would be better at playing 40K drunk.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was going to say maybe the trick is for me to be drunk when we play.
Yeah, possibly. Well, cool. Any other save rounds on Knights or anything like that, man?
I mean, they're just a really hard one to play. I think they're pretty swingy and
super elitist army.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start to hemorrhage, you're
if you lose a couple pieces, you pay. I mean, really, the keys if you want to play Knights is the keys to being successful are not what you think they are. It's proper movement, making sure you have firing lanes on more than one thing, because it always sucks when you have a couple things lined up on a target and your first thing shoots it and then your second thing has nothing to shoot. So you always want to start shooting with the thing that has the least options. Not always, but most of the time. And then just knowing how to divide up shots to get what you want, because a lot of these guys have more than one gun with different damage profiles. So not only is it, if you're going to split shooting, doing the math and mathing it out and figuring out what you're going to need to get and then adding some for some insurance. But the other thing is shooting in the proper order, because if you're shooting into a unit of, say, Terminators and one guy's left on 1 wound, and say you have a Warglaive that has a couple Melta shots and then like 6 Stubber shots, you shoot with the Stubber first because they potentially do 1 damage. So you kill that one guy, and then that sweet Melta does the damage against somebody that didn't have wounds. So
hell yeah.
Doing that kind of stuff,
just
I think goes a long way.
Having that movement target priority with that just super elitist army.
Yeah, and if you make mistakes, not just in movement or in attacking order, if you make little mistakes in targeting priority or what you shoot first, it has a big effect because you don't have that many models.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, hey, good job for this weekend. Good job at the Battleground. I'm excited to see your stuff back on the table in a couple weekends here for Wardome.
For Wardome, I'm excited for that tournament. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. I've really been looking forward to it. For a while, it looked like I wasn't going to be able to go. But...
I'll tell you later. But I'm messing with Aaron, guys.
Yeah, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited to go to that event because I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This tournament, Hiya, was also a lot of fun. They're doing them twice a month now in alternate locations, and if you're kind of in that mid-Texas area between Austin and Dallas, it's a lot of fun to go to. I'd really strongly recommend it. I mean, we drove up from San Antonio, and it was well worth it. I'll definitely do it again.
Hell yeah. Well, cool. I think that's all that we have for this episode, guys. I'm just going to do my closeouts and let Aaron do some of his, and then we'll get out of here. Hey, again, big thing, guys. War Dome Houston, we just talked about it. Go buy your tickets. It's going to be a phenomenal event. The terrain's good. The venue's good. It's in a fantastic area, and I love going to Houston personally. So go buy your tickets. Use the code HAMMERED, or the promo code HAMMERED, in order for me to be able to choose that school at the end that gets that prize support from War Dome. After that, once again, Alamo GT is coming up. Go buy your tickets for that. David hosts a phenomenal event. It's at the Hyatt again this year. It's going to be right on the Riverwalk. It's going to be a blast. Go buy your tickets. Follow the link that's going to be listed right now, and get those tickets so we can fill up that Alamo as well. It only has 90 spots available, and I think that they're at 60, so that's like 30 spots left.
They're getting there. This one will sell out, so if you're thinking about doing it, don't wait till the last minute, because you'll miss out.
100%. And then after that, hey man, Rexer's Lasers. All the events that we talk about, Rexer does most of the terrain for, if not all of the terrain for. He creates the GW layouts. He has all the terrain for any events in Texas coming out. If you want to have that edge, you gotta use the terrain. You gotta play on the terrain, because without those practice games, things change. Like, even if somebody uses the GW layout, they could have a different style of buildings that are on that GW layout.
Yeah, this one does. War Dome does.
Yep, that'll change how that GW layout actually works. So you gotta get those reps in. The only way to do that is to buy his terrain and get his gaming aids and stuff like that.
They also do custom stuff, by the way, like badass jobs. We've had them do some custom Banff Battleshock tokens in the past. And really, any project I've ever come up with and I've asked them about, they find a way to do it.
Yep. And then the only other thing is that, like Aaron said before, he's going to give 10 Banff dice away for free if you can be the 5th person to comment what his friggin' title for his army, which was what again?
The Knights Who Say Knee.
The Knights Who Say Knee. If you can say what movie that was from and you're the 5th person, you get 10 free Banff dice, and he'll find a way to mail them to you.
I'll even give you an extra dice if you tell me what the scariest, baddest monster in that movie was.
And the scariest, baddest monster. I also know that one too. That's pretty easy. These are easy ones.
Lou, you don't get the dice.
5th person, guys. Hey, you got any closers, man?
Yeah, I have one. David Hall, I'm going to beat your ass at War Dome, so right, you better
David
hope
Hall.
we don't play.
Hey, call-outs. Honestly, hopefully they do call-outs.
Yeah, and we're going to have a great time.
Just think one of you guys gets your event crushed. Hey, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the YouTube-y fucking things, and comment, be the 5th person to get some free dice. Hey, thanks for listening, guys.